All right, so I try to do this chore every morning, especially with how cold it's been getting. A little bit of ice in there. This morning we had about 17 or 18 degrees. It's finally starting to get cold. I could hear the lake cracking last night. It makes these, it's hard to describe the sound. It's like, it's when a big crack goes across the lake. It's pretty cool. It echoes a little bit. Yeah, so anyways, get this busted up, get the ice scooped out of here. And I think we're gonna get a little bit of sun today. And with this being black, it'll heat up the water like ever so slightly. Like right now the water's, 33, 34 degrees, somewhere in there. And once I get the ice out and the sun hits it for a couple hours today, it might warm it up to like 35 or 36. I know some people just cold plunge with the ice in it. Maybe someday I'll get there. But plunging into 35 degree water is cold enough for me. So I've got a project today that I'll be working on. I'm going to put a vent tube in our outhouse down here. Mine and Bonnie's outhouse down here, it never has been finished. I've put it off and put it off, always too busy with other things. And I finally decided to get it done. Stop procrastinating. Looking good. My fingers are a little bit cold. Go ahead and cover that. Help keep the heat in, you know what I'm talking about? That's another project here I'm going to work on. Turn this little booster sled into a fun little sled for the kids. All right, I need some tools in my shop here. The tools I need are my jigsaw. Oh, there was a piece of pipe right here. Perfect. I'll show you what that's for. I need a knife. You know what? That's my really good knife. I'm gonna grab a different knife here. Yeah, we'll grab this one here. Got a pencil, a tape measure. Oh, I need a battery. Let's grab this fully charged one. I think that should be good. Inevitably, I'm gonna end up making another trip back to the shop, possibly more, for this project. I just grabbed a paint can opener. You'll also see what that's for. Okay, so the two outhouses in the backyard here, we're in the backyard of the lodge. These are the two outhouses that Zach and his family use and the guests use. You can see that Zach and I did these pipe vents. Now, prior to that, there was vents in the wall that went straight down to the hole. And what the problem with those was is anytime there would be a breeze in the backyard or anywhere, it's blowing wind into that vent and it has to go somewhere. So it goes down and then blows the breeze up through the toilet seat. And it filled the outhouse with stinky smells, as you can imagine. So we buttoned those up. We did the vent up there, and I'll show you inside. On top of that, we made our outhouses nice, and we have a video on that, on how we did that. Outhouses don't have to be gross. We put this nice vinyl in here. Now you can see on this one, this vent pipe, just like some of those vault toilets at campgrounds, it goes just below the seat level here. And according to science, when there's a breeze, it's blowing over the top of that vent, and that creates a siphon. It's sucking the bad smell out. And it's worked really nice. This last summer, there was almost no smell in these outhouses. So Nice and painted, some pictures on the wall, candle holder, some nice vinyl, and the vent. Oh, and a nice little wood toilet paper holder, which looks like it needs to be refilled. So in our outhouse here, I just recently redid the paneling. Let me bring you in here. My walls previously just had little bits and pieces of paneling, and so I replaced them with full sheets. And then I also did the vinyl in here. The last thing I have to do for the vinyl, you can see I trimmed it out. It kind of, that little trim holds it in the corners. Now the only thing I have to do is put a little threshold on here so that we don't ruin this lip. So the vent I will put right in this corner. So that's where this piece of pipe comes in handy. That angle cut on that pipe is the angle of the roof. So I can set it on there flat and get the right size hole, because if I were to use that end on the roof like that, where when the pipe is going to be going in through an angle, it wouldn't work. So on the roof, when I do that angle, it'll give me the right size hole. There, that was pretty easy. So I've got the hole that I drilled up from the bottom. I'm going to try to center this pipe the best I can, just by eyeballing it. And then I did give myself some room on the inside. I didn't tuck this pipe right into the corner of the wall. So if I'm not perfectly centered, it gave me some leeway there. I'm just gonna try to score this shingle, this rolled roofing, with the knife. Give myself a mark. Once I have my mark, I can drill another hole on the edge, right on the edge of my mark, and then use this jigsaw here to cut the hole. You guys should see this view I get to see. Man, I'll show you in a minute. This is why I grabbed my crappy knife with a bad blade, because I'd be cutting through rock. I didn't want to use my nice knife on this. So once I get this pipe installed, I don't have any kind of flashing or flange for this pipe, and it's really not super necessary. Oh, I've got 2 layers here. Oh, that's right. There's a lap, and I just went up higher. Yep, okay. So after I get this installed, as I was saying, I'm going to put a bunch of rubberized sealant, like I think it's just a tar, really. I'll use a putty knife and spread that around this really good to make it waterproof. That way we don't get water dripping into our outhouse here. Let's see if I can pry this up out of here. There we go. Just like that. Yeah. Make it a little bit bigger. All right, let me show you the view over here. Not too shabby, right? I got to watch the moon. I guess from what I learned, it was called the beaver moon. Last night it was a full moon, so that beaver moon set right behind Foraker. Actually, it set right on top of Foraker, and then I try to do this without making the camera go blurry. As the moon set on top of Foraker, it goes down at an angle, and then it ended up setting in that crook right there. I'll show you a couple pictures. They're not great. I just took them with my phone, but I'll flash those pictures up here real quick. Now I'm going to get the drill up here, drill one more hole, and then get to cutting. Probably drill a couple holes here. See where I need to make some adjustments. There we go. That'll work. All right, now I got to go get the long pieces of pipe. We bought two 10-foot sticks for the other outhouses, and they only took about just under 7 feet a piece. And that left us with two like 3.5-foot pieces. So what I did was I just bought a coupler, a 4-inch coupler, and we'll use that on my outhouse so that we can use all the pipe, make use of all of it. I have to make another hole inside the outhouse down through that toilet seat level. So what I did for the time being is I stuck a piece up through. I went ahead and just put it together real quick. And this is just setting down here. So I wanted to see how it was going to set in the corner, how much play I had, which is pretty good. I'll go ahead and make a mark there. I brought my good knife, nice sharp blade, because this is nice vinyl and I can make a nice cut on the vinyl there and then carefully cut it out with the jigsaw. Now the problem I'm going to run into with the jigsaw is I'm in a corner now, so I'm only going to be able to do a little part of it with the jigsaw, very little. Some of you might be wondering what is on the toilet seat here. Toilet seat cover. It's fabric. There's a little metal ring right here, and then you just pull it up through, and then this part's elastic. I love it personally. Other members of the people out here, I won't name any names, they don't like it for obvious reasons. You know, it's fabric, so it can hold germs, but it's easy to take off and wash. And I'm telling you what, sitting on this when it's in the teens or sub-zero out here is a lot nicer than sitting on, you know, just cold wood or cold plastic or whatever. So it's a nice little addition. All right, I'm gonna get back at that. There we go. Get this piece out of here. All right, so I could only write a partial circle. It's not too big a deal, but I'll stick this over the top. The inside diameter of this is the same as the outside diameter of the pipe. All right, got a nice complete circle there. What we did on the other outhouses was, after we got this all in, we tarred the top, and then we put a nice little ring of silicone around this side too. It just made it look nicer. Okay, I just used the drill bit to drill a bunch of holes. It looks absolutely terrible right now, but I will get a chisel and a good knife and clean that up. It'll look a lot better here in a minute. All right, guys, about 15-20 minutes later, I got this hole cleaned up, and got the pipe to fit right down in there. See, that's all the further I really want to put it down in. And you can see this little bit of framing right there. I just kind of chiseled that out a little bit lower, and the pipe sets right on that. That's a part of the framing, so it's really solid. It's not going anywhere. The pipe will set on that. That's as low as it needs to go. I think I already said that. And it'll just set right there, and I don't need to do anything else with it. All right, let me get the first chunk of pipe in there, then the coupler, Then I'll measure for the second piece of pipe, and this project will be pretty close to done. There we go. Got my 4-inch coupler here. Push that on nice and tight. All right, now what I want to make sure is you've got the peak of the roof right up here, and your pipe needs to be just a hair higher than the peak of the roof. That way, if a wind or breeze is coming from the west over there, it will catch the pipe, and it won't be blocked by this, and it'll create that siphon or that draw. I'm going to eyeball this because I've been told that I've got a pretty good eyeball. Watch me really screw it up this time. Yeah, we're gonna say, I'm gonna hold my finger here. This is real technical stuff. So we're gonna go 17 inches above this roof line. You like how I got that measurement? All right, 17 plus 16. That's pretty easy. 33, right? Double check. I got one piece of pipe, 16. Measure twice, cut once. So my dad always told me, and every contractor that I've ever worked for. The only place I had to set up the camera to get this good shot, because I wanted Denali in the shot, was in all this nasty willow. So just gonna have to deal with the poor shot and stare at Denali for a minute. All right, what did I say? 16 plus 17, 33. Because 16 and 16 is 32. Plus 1. Who says I didn't get a good education? I may need to secure this somewhere other than the ladder, because this does not feel secure. There we go, that's better. Just enjoy the view. All right, it's actually about perfect. That's all the pipe I ended up with. So, 2 10-foot sticks is just enough for 3 outhouses. Perfect. I could feel that seated into the coupler really good. All right, what does it look like? I'm going to use our little propane torch and heat up the roofing just a little bit so that the tar adheres a little bit better, because it's obviously very cold. I will be very careful because I know the roofing is tar based or oil based, and it can light on fire. So I'm just going to heat it ever so slightly. I'm going to get it just a little past warm because I have to go back inside and grab the tar. I've had it inside by the wood stove all morning so that it will be nice and pliable and warm for applying here. So I'm going to get this area just past warm, closer to hot, just shy of ignition. And that way I can have time to get it taped off, go get the tar, and then start applying it. Tell you what, if this venting is working well, don't stick your nose right over that because it stinks. I love these torches. They work so great. All right. All right, done with the duct tape. Done with the torch. I'll go get the tar. All right, here we go. That is what I did. I decided to go with the point up top so that if any rain drains down this way, it hits this ridge of tar and will run down these edges as opposed to the square edge being that way. I have the paint can opener in my pocket. I also have a putty knife in my pocket. You can see this stuff. It's just a nice ooey gooey roofing tar, rubberized roof patch. Oh yeah, it's nice and soft here. I'm gonna start by kind of working some down into that crack, and then I'll build up a little bit of a ridge of this stuff up toward the pipe. And the best thing to use to get this tar off of your fingers and your tools that I've found is gasoline. You don't want to make a habit of rubbing gasoline all over your fingers, but tell you what, works a lot faster and better than paint thinner. The good thing is I don't want to get too sloppy, but with the black pipe and the black tar, if you get it up all over the black pipe, it doesn't show really bad. I like nice clean jobs. Attention to detail. My dad loved finish carpentry. He was very good at finish woodwork. He had an eye for that kind of stuff. Definitely a perfectionist in that sense. And I definitely picked that up from him. So regardless of what I'm doing, most jobs you could say, that's close enough, you know? But there's nothing wrong with it looking really nice, no matter what kind of job you're doing. You do have to find a balance, though. I've learned that. That was hard for my dad to learn. When we would frame a house or a building or something, he would want to get, cut a 2x6 for a stud. What's the measurement for a stud? Some of you might know this, 92 5/8. I think that's the stud length for a 8-foot wall. And if it wasn't exactly 92 5/8, if it was, 92 9/16, he would get frustrated. He'd want to cut another one, or if it was too long, go shave a 16th. Now, he would even get a little more particular than that and want to shave it like a 32nd of an inch. He'd say just shave it, just like less than a half of a saw blade width. And it took forever on framing jobs. And I've learned that there's a time where you can let some of that stuff go. It doesn't have to be within a 32nd of an inch when you're framing. All right, I think I like this. I'm gonna smooth it out a little bit more. Get rid of the ridges. I feel like I've got excess up here or down on the bottom. I need to put it up top. I was just talking about it, guys. My perfectionism is showing. It was probably absolutely fine, and I didn't like it. Alrighty, I think we're gonna call that. Now, let me see what it does when I pull. I'm gonna pull up one at a time. And try not to get it on my fingies. So far, so good. Not bad. I'm just gonna throw this in the ground and deal with it later. All right, we'll clean up that edge. That looks pretty nice. Clean up that top edge, and we'll call it good. There we go. Look at that. Our outhouse is now properly vented. Now the only thing we have left to do is paint this, and that's not going to happen until springtime. It's November now, at least May, until it gets nice and warm out here. So 6 months away. And Threshold. Yeah, painting and threshold. Oh, I'm going to make a toilet paper holder. I think I showed you in the other outhouse how I made one out of like a little slab of wood and some peeled logs. Came out really nice. I'm going to do the same thing for in here. I could make a magazine rack. I might. Call me weird. I know a lot of people do it. I'm one of the only people out here at the lodge that reads while I'm going to the bathroom. I mean, you might as well do something while you're doing nothing, right? I think I'm going to wrap this video up. Outhouses don't have to be gross. That's mine and Zach's motto. Well, it's been cold enough that another skin of ice built up over this thing, but I'm getting in anyways. 32. Oh yeah. I try to do it for about 2 minutes a day. Sometimes I skip a day, but I love doing it when the sun is shining on me. Even though I can't feel much heat from the sun, it makes all the difference, the sun shining in your eyelids there. Keep forgetting what I started at. Yeah, got some ice chunks floating around in here. Well, I got my projects done for today. Everything went pretty good. I went for a walk with my wife, enjoying this gorgeous day. The sun came out like the forecast said it was going to. And yeah, it's a good day. Kids are playing down on the ice right now, playing a little bit of stick hockey. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. Hit that like button and subscribe if you are not already. And leave a comment below. The likes and the comments really help our channel, and we sure appreciate it. We're glad that you choose to watch our videos. There's so many other videos out there for you guys to enjoy, and we're just humbly thankful that you've chosen to watch some of our videos. We will see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.
Bramante Brothers.
It's about 2 minutes. Usually what gets me out of here the quickest is my feet. Everything else is fine, but my toes, terrible circulation, and they start to hurt really bad.